This week in post, fixing dust spots in ON1 Photo RAW. Hi everyone, I'm Scott Davenport and welcome to In Post. Thanks for joining me today. If this is the first time you're checking out the channel, appreciate you giving me a shot. I hope that you like what you see. You'll subscribe and stick around and join me for some new videos in the future. So today is a Q&A episode, but one question, one answer about finding and fixing dust spots in ON1 Photo RAW. Got asked a bunch of times about this, and I have a technique that I use that helps me really root out and find the dust spots. Fixing them is kind of easy, right? We have the retouch brush and we have the perfect brush. Those are usually single-click operations for these small, sensor spots that we have. But finding them can sometimes be a challenge. So let me show you the method that I use to find them, and then I'll explain what's happening under the covers to help us root things out. So I'm going to take this photo here and let's make a version of it, a new version. This is something new in Photo RAW 2018, and I can reset all of the settings on that. So we'll see it go back to like its pre-processed state. I'll take that into Develop. Now in Develop, I use a preset specifically to find dust spots, and amazingly, it is called Find Dust Spots. So I'm going to open up my presets window. I have that selected already. I'll just click on it once and close this. Now, the photo looks terrible. That's by design right now. We're looking for dust spots. We're not looking to make the photo its final image. And so what's happening here is adding a whole ton of contrast. I'll explain that in a minute. How I use it is once I have the preset applied, I move the haze slider back and forth, and we see this, this swirling, almost undulating view of the scene. Now notice there's spots that are showing up here, 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 there. As I adjust, I start to see them in different places. I see them up in the sky here. I see them over here. I see some up in this corner here. These are spots that weren't as easily visible when I was just looking at the photo without this extreme amount of contrast here. And so all of these different spots show up. And so I'll just work with the haze slider. I'll start at the bottom and kind of just work my way along. And as I see spots, I'm going to press the R key. That's our retouch tool. And I can just single click and remove the spots that I see. I won't do them all here. I chose this photo because I know I had lots of spots. And I'll move along until I see other spots that weren't visible previously. So there's another one there. There's another one there, and so on and so forth, and kind of just work my way all the way across with the haze slider until I've found and retouched away all of the spots. So now what is this preset doing? Okay, well, we saw here that it's black and white. So the first thing is I'm removing all of the saturation, just taking saturation to -100 in tone and color. The reason for that is because of what the curves adjustment is doing, and the curves is what's making this wild, strange contrast. If we leave it saturated, it's just really, really brightly colored, and it's an eyesore, honestly. But what the curve is doing is adding an extreme amount of contrast. So where normally our shadows would be way down here, taking that shadow range and made it completely bright, and then followed by a total valley, pulling all the shadows back and forth, as many times as reasonable, usually 8 or 9 points, end up giving me a good amount of contrast. With that, then we start to see the spots appear more readily. So that's the magic of the preset. And actually, I make this preset available. You can get it on my blog. There's a blog post associated with this video. The preset's there. You can download it, free to use, have at it, add it to your utility toolkit. Once I'm all done with fixing up the dust spots, I'll remove the curves adjustment and I'll reset tone and color. Now I know my photo is taken care of, the dust spots are removed, and I can continue on with my main processing. Well, the tip of the week is that extreme contrast curve control. You've got these very tight peaks and valleys, and that will really help you find the dust spots. Fixing them is easy. We have the retouch tool, we have the perfect eraser. Finding them can be sometimes a challenge. So use that really extreme curve adjustment, or just go to my site. There's a blog post. The link is here in the video if you're not on my site already. Download the preset for free and go ahead and add it to your toolkit and save yourself having to create your own. And that's it for this week in post. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, let me know somehow. Comments on the video are great. Social shares are always appreciated. If you got questions, send them on in. I love getting your questions, hearing what's on your mind photographically. I'm usually able to turn an answer around to you in a couple of days. and I might use your question for a future video. Those questions you send in really do feed the ideas behind the next set of videos. Until next time, my name's Scott Davenport. Happy shooting.